Hello, my name is Megan Kuchma, and I am here to present as a wildlife biologist for the Department of Environmental Conservation in New York State. I am presenting on the fisher Picania pennanti as a managed species. The fisher is an important species for a balanced ecosystem in North America's forested lands. It is important to keep, developing new methods of study as well as continue studying for continued health of the population. In New York State, there are several methods of observation. As you can see in the map, there are lots of areas in New York where the fisher is not observed. Observations are noticed by hunters and hikers, trappers, farmers, and all sorts of outdoor enthusiasts. The types of data that is collected are harvest data from harvestable areas and non-harvest data where they use camera traps, fur, scat data, telemetry, and print trays. They take prints from the snows. The current conservation status of the fisher is in harvestable areas. They continue management plans for the harvestable fishers that have population densities that support that. And non-harvestable areas, it's important to determine how they can continue to encourage a growth in population density as well as being able to manage lands for agricultural, timber purposes. It's important to figure out how we can encourage humans to use the land without encroaching on the fisher population. Species requirements are they generally prefer mixed deciduous or coniferous forests of mature stands with varying degrees of canopy cover. It's determined by the region and fisher preference of the canopy density. Mature stands are preferred for resting sites like burrows and dens and hollows and branches. It's seasonally dependent on the fishers, on which rest sites are chosen. And then also one of the requirements are prey density. So they might not be the only predator around that sustains on the same prey, but they also are taken as prey themselves by other species in a higher trophic level. Fishers, as I said, are a managed species. There's harvest data where people submit their harvest of the shortened seasons so that their seasons are short, and harvest, it's all dependent on the population density through the accrual of harvest data. That's all determined by harvest data. In locations where there is closed seasons, data is collected through spatial spatial data like non-harvest for scat. Some studies study carcasses. There's camera traps, radio telemetry, and other forms of observation. The behavior of fishers is where we have issues with agricultural and timbers. So you won't find when timber harvest comes in, fishers will typically leave an area, and the goal is to figure out how we can work timber harvest in with a continued healthy population of fisher for harvestable purposes. Agriculture will also affect fisher behavior as farmlands with surrounding areas of forest optimum for fishers will often come in and take farmers' livestock like chickens and rabbits and stuff, and they'll prey on those. There's also competition within the species. If populations of fishers are high, some fishers will cannibalize other fishers, or you get species of predators higher on the trophic level will prey on the fishers. Fishers will also prey on a variety of food sources, anywhere from apples in an overgrown orchard to small mammals such as rabbits and voles and other rodents. The management strategies, like I said, the potential to encourage higher population densities while also having humans be able to harvest timber without encroaching on the successful survivability of the fisher in the forest. It's important to learn these methods, as well as studying why they're decreasing, what could we do to prevent the decrease, which could also help with future management of currently closed populations where the land is already being managed by people. It's also important to involve stakeholders, some stakeholders with enough property that is optimum for fisher populations to encourage fishers to move in for future harvest, and it'll also help balance out ecosystems where farmers have high rodent populations. That will help, fishers will help keep those populations down. So the goal of this this presentation is to encourage continued management of the fishers for improved population densities, and to encourage human-fisher relationships, so to speak. We want fishers to be a plenty for harvest, as well as being able to use the land. To encourage studying of habitat, like if there's something that could be done to the habitat that would encourage fishers to move into currently closed or low populated areas, and to encourage stakeholder involvement, whether that's the outdoor enthusiast that would like to see more fishers in the wild, or the hunter that would like to set traps and be able to hunt in a certain region, or even to learn ways of preventing fishers from harvest to preying on farms agriculture. There's lots of study that could go into these study of optimum fisher-human relations. Thank you, and have a good day.